Anonymous Watch Guy here with another episode of Watch Chat. Quick wrist check. Wearing the Mont Blanc IC automatic date. Really awesome watch. One of my favorites in the collection. But today, a few topics to discuss. Of course, to start with, a quick announcement. I will be having another watch sale this weekend around the normal time. About 12:30, 1 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. None of these watches on the table will be for sale. I can guarantee you that. But there will be quite a few watches for sale. This will be a pretty big sale, I think. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, this is watch show season. There's a big watch show, Minutes and Hours in Chicago this weekend. Unfortunately, I will not be there, but I'm sure a lot of you will be. So if you're going to that show, have fun. Be safe travels. Chicago's not that far from me, but maybe I'll make it to wind up in July. But I have some watches out here on the table. I guess maybe the first little mini topic, kind of where I'm leaning with my next watch purchase. I know I talked about some watch purchases in my last video. I ended up not buying any of those watches. I'm looking for maybe something a little bit higher up on the ladder. But obviously I've got a dive watch, a GMT watch, kind of an everyday sports watch, kind of a pilot watch. I've got a lot of each one of these types of watches in the collection, but there is a certain type of watch that is not here on the table, and that is the type of watch that I'm looking to add to the collection. So stay tuned for that. I'm getting pretty close to pulling the trigger on one. Got a couple different ones in mind. But I think that I'm definitely going to add one sometime in the near future. But I may wait until after all the new releases come out. Again, Watches and Wonders is next week. There's a lot of brands that are going to be announcing new releases. One new release that's exciting that I came really close to buying was the limited edition multi-fort TV big date from Mito. Just thought this was really cool. The fact that it come with two different color straps, but it appears to be sold out everywhere. I was a little slow on pulling the trigger, so I ended up not getting this watch, even though I think it's really awesome. And it's the Season 1, Episode 1 is what they're calling it. So maybe they have another limited edition multi-fort TV big date that comes out, and if they do, and it's as cool as this one, I'll probably buy it. Thought that was a really cool release. But Watches and Wonders is coming up next week. Of course, everybody's talking about, what will Rolex do? What's the big Rolex release? And I'm just not a big fan of Rolex for a few reasons. Yes, they're really nice watches. But bottom line is, I don't care for the way Rolex does business. I could walk into an AD and buy a Rolex at retail if they would sell me one. And the truth being, there's probably some in the back room in stock. They just choose to want to have this aura of exclusivity to the watches. They want to try to make them something they are not. These are mass-produced watches that are made in a factory. These aren't handmade watches. These aren't hand-finished watches. Yes, they're very nice, but they are not, Patek Philippe's. They are not something even, more high-end or exclusive than that. They are not what they are trying to be. And if you want to buy a pre-owned Rolex for about the price you can get, a new one at retail for, then, it's going to be 20, 30 years old and beat to shit. And I'm not going to spend $6,000 to $8,000 on a watch that's beat to hell. I keep my watches in pristine condition. So I just don't get the whole Rolex thing, really. I'm not going to pay 20-30% over retail for a new watch. I don't pay full retail for almost any watch I buy, let alone more than full retail. That said, all the new predictions for Rolexes are out. This white dial Explorer does look great. I'm sure they'll probably come out with something like this. They never do anything big. They just do minor little tweaks and dial changes, and they don't need to do anything big because all the Rolex fanboys will just eat it up. So I don't really care about Rolex. I'm not really following what all the hype is for Rolex at Watches and Wonders. I'm looking forward to other brands. There's going to be plenty of other brands there. What are some of the brands that you are looking forward to for new releases at Watches and Wonders? Of course, I will make a winners video like I always do for Watches and Wonders. Who had the best releases last year and the last couple years? Really, I thought it was Tudor. I know Tudor is already released like a little hype video that their new releases are coming next week. I'm really excited to see what Tudor does. I'm really excited to see what Tag Heuer does. I thought the Carrera that they released last year was fantastic. I think that they're really going in the right direction with that particular line. So I know they already had the LVMH Watch Week. I don't know if they'll come out with anything new at Watches and Wonders, but always interested to see what they're doing. I've been a fan of what Zenith's been doing recently. Definitely looking forward to seeing if they come out with anything interesting. I'm a Norqain fan. I own a Norqain. I think they make great watches. Obviously, I like Montblanc as well. The IC automatic date was a big release for them at Watches and Wonders 2 years ago. So definitely looking forward to seeing if they come out with something exciting. IWC always has interesting stuff. I always think it's about $3,000 to $4,000 overpriced. But it'll be interesting to see what they come out with this year. Hermes has some nice watches. Big fan of Moser. Probably never be able to afford one. Big fan of Gronfeld. Probably never be able to afford one, but I think they make awesome watches. Again, Rolex, you are not Gronfeld, so stop trying to be that exclusive. We'll see what happens with them. But so many brands there. Cartier, I'm a big Cartier fan as well. Lots of cool brands at Watches and Wonders. Very excited to see what comes out of the show this year. I will be watching closely, and of course, I will share a winners video with you all of what I think the best releases of the show are. So what are you looking forward to in the coming week as far as new releases? Leave that in the comment of this video. Feel free to have a good discussion about what releases you're most excited about. And I will have a full review coming up on the other Waldor & Co. watch that I've still got to do the full review on. And I will probably have an unboxing at some point soon on my next big purchase. I may wait and see what comes out of the show next week before I pull the trigger on something big. But that purchase is coming soon as I sell off a few more and make way for that big acquisition. As always, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give me a like. If you subscribe to the channel. See you next time.